body has a memories. It remembers it. And if you mistreat it, it has to deal with it. And the more you're loading it up, this mistreatment, the more you're straining your body of energy. You want to be healthy, but you're doing opposite. Hi everybody. Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about dry fasting because it's come to our attention that someone we know died recently, dry fasting, and we also know that Robert Lockhart died a few years ago, and he was also doing a lot of dry fasting. So the question is whether or not it's a safe thing to be doing. So that's what we're going to talk about. First of all, in case there's any of you out there that don't understand what dry fasting is, basically it's fasting without taking any fluids at all. So you're not drinking any water, you're not consuming anything, which makes it a lot more intense than if you're fasting and drinking water. Now, we both experimented with dry fasting. We've done 3 days. I think that's the most, 72 hours. In the past, we were doing that more regularly. And I did told the Blake that it was very, very powerful. It's very cleansing to do a dry fasting. But the idea of pushing it and doing the dry fast on a more regular basis than we were ever doing, or extending it past 3 days and doing it for longer periods of time, I definitely think it can be dangerous and even lead to fatality if one were to push it too much. Now, I am aware that there are people out there that claim to be dry fasting for extended periods of time and doing so on a regular basis, and apparently not suffering any ill health from doing so. So I am a little bit personally uncertain about exactly what's happening. But what I do understand is that for most people, that it's a very dangerous thing to be doing, to be pushing. It may be possible that you can reach a stage where your body can handle it, and it will not cause you any harm and maybe even do you some good. But I don't think that's the truth for most people. I think for most people out there, if they're going to be pushing dry fasting, they're going to do themselves harm. With it, the point I really want to underline. Don't push nothing. And this is what a lot of people have a tendency to do. They say, one more day, I already done this, I'm so good. This is not some sport or game that you try to win. This is time then you really have to listen to your body. Because if you don't, you may pay for this, even with your life. And it's really sad to hear when that happens. I learned about Robert Lockhart, some his friend, who even seen that and that happened, that used to do dry fast too often. He was around 70, I think. And I think he's just one of the healthiest, youngest. And he thought if I'm going to do lots of dry fast, I'm going to be really fit and everything. That if you overdo things, doesn't matter what it is, it can be harmful to you. If I eat 5 watermelons at once, I will die for it somehow. Sooner or later, or sooner and later as well, because body has a memories. It remembers it. And if you mistreat it, it has to deal with it. And the more you're loading it up, this mistreatment, the more you're straining your body of energy. You want to be healthy, but you're doing opposite. Even if you go for a walk, even if you work in a garden, whatever activity you do. So I still feel you are tired. You stop. You can stop for 10 minutes and you can resign. But if you don't stop for 10 minutes and you keep going, you're striving yourself. Lovely creative magic. Not well, and you may question, what's the obviously? Because you striving yourself. And the body see. But of this, against such a behavior. And so in a dry fasting, this is even more important to understand that you can lose your life. And that's it for you. And that's opposite what you want if you want to be well. And I also heard that lots of people, when they do this dry fast, they work hard. And this was also story of Dr. Lockhart. His friends told me they've been there. It was hot day. It was around this time of the year, hottest part of the year in the senior summer of us. And he would work very hard because also people believe if you work hard, you detox a lot. So it's good to detox. That's everything had to be gently because your body has only certain capacities. And if you overload it, it just gives up on you. It can be mentally, it can be physically, doesn't matter what it is. You have to find the science to this. Fasting too can be dangerous because we all come from places of ignorance, really, where we start doing things because we think they're the right things to do. So we have ideas about what we should do to improve ourselves, to improve our bodies, our health, or whatever. And we make mistakes because we're only human and we all do that. And with fasting, I used to believe that it was good to take a fast every now and again, just to give the body a break from all the digesting and assimilation and elimination and everything that it has to do. But in more recent times, and I mentioned this in a previous video, that I feel now that the nature cure way of looking at fasting is more healthy. So you fast when you reach a healing crisis. So it's a different thing to thinking, oh, I'm going to fast now just because I've got time to do so and I feel like I should do so. But when the body actually really gets sick and you lose appetite, fasting is so much easier. Perhaps then, if you dry fast during that time, it may not be as harsh on the body as if you're just doing it like I'm going to do it now because that's what I feel like doing. And I don't want to say that it's completely wrong to be fasting at times when you've got time to do it, because there's still a part of me that holds the natural hygienism way of thinking that fasting is a good thing to do. Rather, like if you're running, and as Petrushka said, if you're working or walking and you don't take a break, you're not going to have as much energy. And perhaps in the same way, if we're eating with a child, we don't take a break every now and again, we're going to overburden our body. So I am a little bit conflicted about what exactly the right thing to do with fasting is. I can't think that we can either of us say that we're completely experts on this. Obviously, we both have our experience with fasting and we've both done so without supervision. But I do know that there are people out there that push things too far. I do know not everybody can manage it well, and some people are into problems. And with dry fasting, especially so, because if you're not taking in water when you're fasting, I believe it makes it more difficult for the bodies to detox. I think that the solution to the pollution inside you is dilution and not simply just letting the bodies handle things without that dilution. Yes, I also believe that I did dry fast because I was that is 2 days. And because I listened my body, I didn't even know that it's on dry fast. I learned that with for mangoes, but it's very start. I don't even remember, but I done it naturally anyways, because I listen to my bodies and I fast as mango says, when my body tells me, because I don't think it's good for me to eat when I don't have appetite whatsoever. And eat just because I think I have to eat. So I don't eat. Then my body loses appetite. As I said before, lots of people, they push it because they're impatient. They realize they've damaged their body for so long time and want to recover quickly. But it doesn't work. It takes time to get there. It takes a while to get out of it. And I believe the process of getting healthier, it's much faster. If you know what you're doing, if you fast and you're thirsty, you have to drink. There is no way around it. If you just don't listen to your body, will fight with it. Unfortunately, the
losing our patience as humans a lot because we are giving devices when everything is done. Monitoring everything done. Monitor for assistance in the name of convenience. So we get used to even that quick fix for everything, even everything done in one day, and it just doesn't work that way.
That is a key word, really, patience. You do have to be patient with yourself, with the whole experience, with your path, your journey. Because if you've gone 30, some people go 30, 40, 50 years eating the wrong kinds of foods, their bodies are misshaped in all kinds of ways. They've got weight where they really shouldn't be carrying weight, and they've been doing so for decades. And then suddenly they think that they can fix everything overnight. Obviously, it's never going to happen. And you do have to realize that all those decades of abuse are going to take maybe even years, at the very, very least months, to get rid of. So everybody, as Kritka says, they want a quick fix. So if they're carrying too much weight, they would rather go to surgery and have fat removed from their stomach or wherever they have fat removed, rather than doing it the right way.
Take care of yourself first in a way that you respect yourself and you respect your body needs. Then very easily you can go wrong.
I would say, especially don't do anything like dry fasting unless you've already been on this path for some time. Because people hear about these things and they think they want to get there, they want to do these things quick, and they can do a dry fast. They've been eating everything in a dry fast, and I think that's going to really, really be detrimental to the body. But if you've been on the path for a long time, then use your own discretion. I don't want to say conclusively that it's dangerous for everybody at every stage they're at, because I think there are times where it may be beneficial. But I think you have to practice that patience. Now, you don't have to practice patience going on fruit. That's a different thing. If you're eating everything, you can switch to going on fruit overnight. If that's what your desire is, you're not going to be pushing yourself. You're not going to be overtaxing the body by doing that. Your body can handle that. It will be hard because your body will be detoxing very quickly for a lot of people, and it will be very difficult. But that doesn't mean that it's going to overburden the body. You can do that. But the fasting and the dry fasting especially, don't do anything like that until you're really sure in what you're doing and you've really studied and looked into what it is that you're going to do. Don't just do it because you've heard, oh, it's a good thing to do. Look at it yourself.
Yes.
If you're going to try it and you've been on the path for a while, just do one whole day, first of all, just to see how that feels. That's what we've always said. We don't give advice. We're not advising you to fast or not fast, or dry fast or not dry fast, or eat fruit or not eat fruit. That's your choice. We're telling you what we feel. This is our opinion. We always like to make this clear. We don't give advice.
Yeah, and this is very good point. You don't dry fast. Then you, as Mango said, just being eating everything cool. You have to have some history and experience this growth here to start this, because even that you will experience some more mild detox. It goes for everybody really different story. We had here a lot, say 10 people in that first case, who were eating only fruit and normally everything. Some people that have less and some people others. As true is, none of them eating here, don't one day to another. No transitions, start eating raw fresh fruit. They had the juices, they had the sauce, and the juices and fruit, they can stick anything they want.
And you're always surprised at how little they need to eat. You would think coming from eating a lot, which they all do, and then suddenly eating fruit, people think, oh, they're going to be hungry all day. And none of them were.
That's what they think. They actually surprised.
They're very surprised.
How it's a thing. None of them show detox. Only that's my mom. And so that is when she was here for 5 months. And that's just my after 4 months. On a little bit of food. She ate really tiny amount. Maybe say 2 glasses of juice a day, 2 mangoes. And I started making fruit salads when she was here. And she got really into that. And later on, we will eat to get that every night fruit salad. It was nice size bowl. And she was active. She was around the garden. She went for a walk every morning. I was 2 years only on food. And before I was vegetarian and vegan and since I was born, I ate Mondays. I make foods if I can. And when I can, I would. And I never had the urge to fast.
Only after 2 years of being on food.
I suddenly lost the appetite. Robert Lockhart, he was on a rocket for many years. Yet, you know from the people who knew him personally, visited him and stuff and dealt with him through those days, these last days. You know that he just overdone it. He worked hard, was very hot weather, 36, 35, and dry fasting. And he was doing dry fast too often because he thought he's going to get that day very healthy. That's what happens to him. His body gave up something.
If you're eating everything, it is okay to fast. Unlike, if you're eating everything, I would never advise or suggest to anybody, or if it was myself, I would never think that dry fasting was a good thing to do. But fasting is a good thing to do. If you're eating everything and you reach a healing crisis, then you can't go wrong fasting because the body loses appetite. When it loses appetite, no matter what diet you're on, it's a healthy thing to do to be fasting. But not if you're eating everything and you think, oh, I'm just going to fast, then you can run into problems because your body isn't ready for it. Your body should be ready for it, and you'll fare better through the experience. Of course, if you're young and vital, you can fast and be okay, but it's still not the best thing to do. Anyway, I think we've answered the question today.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening as always. I'll say goodbye for now.
Okay. Goodbye and thank you for listening. And never forget about love. Because whatever you do, if you don't have a lasting grief, always don't start. Throw your heart to the right to your heart and don't make scans for the third. Bye.